Hi there, welcome to another video from Unnati Academy, and this one's again about basic math and some of the mistakes that my students are making in terms of finding square roots or cube roots or any kind of roots. So for instance, we take this question here, find the root of 500. Now, how do we go about this? I think the worst thing we can do is try and get it into a decimal form because that's really not even expected of the student. The student can leave this in a form where there is a number like 2 root 2 or root 3 or root 5. These are valid representation of irrational numbers, and we should probably leave the answer in this kind of a form. So the method that I usually suggest to my students is prime factorization. So I first find the factors of 500, and 500 is essentially, if you think about it, 5 times 100, and it's equal to 5 times 10 square. And again, 10 can be split further as 5 into 2 whole square. So this is going to give me 5 times 5 square times 2 square. And this equals 5 times 25 times 4. Basically, the idea is to get it into a form that I have as many perfect squares as possible in the factorization, so that when I actually take the root, now I'll take a root on both the sides, root 500. And since I've expressed 500 in this form, I can write it as 5 times 25 times 4. Now I'm going to use this property root a times b equals root a times root b. And I'm going to split this out as root 5 times root 25 times root 4. And this is nothing but I'm going to leave root 5 as it is because I don't want to go into the decimal form. And root 25 is 5 and root 4 is 2. And this will be, I can multiply 5 times 10, it'll give me 5 times 2, it'll give me 10. 10 times root 5. And this is how we find the answer to the square root of 500. Similarly, I could try and find the answer for another one here. Let's say I want to find out the square root of 420. That seems to be my favorite number in my videos. And again, let me rub this out and do the same thing for 420. This time I'm going to do the prime factorization in a very standard way. And I'm going to keep dividing it by each prime number starting with 2. And then we're going to see what the prime factors are and find out the square root. All right. So here we go. We have 420 and prime factors of this 2, 210, 105. This is divisible by 3, 35. 35 is no more divisible by 3, so we go to 5. 5 times 7, and 7 is divisible by 7. So the prime factors list is here. And 2 squared, because 2 happens twice, and times 3 times 5 times 7. The only perfect square I managed to get is 2 square. So this is equal to 420. So when I take a root on both the sides, I'm going to get a root of 2 square times the root of 3 times the root of 5 times the root of 7. Now root 2 square is that number which when squared gives 2 squared. That has to be 2 times. Now I'm going to use the reverse of this property where I'm going to go from here to here. So root 3 times root 5 times root 7 is nothing but root 3 times 5 times 7. And that's going to give me 2 times root 105. And the answer is going to be 2 times root 105. So that's how we can go about finding square roots and expressing them in this form where we don't bother about the decimal place representation for the surd. Remember, this is also called a surd. Well, I hope that clears some confusions about square roots and how to actually go about finding the prime factors and then expressing it in this form. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.